6 suspected Ebola patients have been admitted at Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital. The cases were reported to have been in contact with a person from Ntoroko district who recently died from Ebola. Dr. Bahizi Archibald Sebahire, the hospital acting director, says the suspects have been sent to the isolation unit at the hospital. He also says samples from the suspected cases have been sent to Kampala for testing. Bahizi urged the locals to adhere to health guidelines, practice proper hygiene, and report any symptoms promptly to ensure the safety of the community. On Saturday, the Ministry of Health confirmed another death from Ebola, a 4-year-old boy who died just a month after the first case of Ebola was reported in late January. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said yesterday that a new cluster of Ebola cases has emerged in Uganda, adding that efforts were being made to intensify monitoring and contact tracing. Overall, Uganda has recorded 14 cases and 2 deaths since the start of the outbreak. Cabinet will meet to discuss alternative sourcing of funding to bridge the gap caused by the withdrawal of United States Agency for International Development funding. This is according to Prime Minister Robin Nabanja, who said that the Ministry of Health is preparing a cabinet memorandum seeking guidance from the executive on the new funding source. Nabanja made the statement during the Thursday afternoon plenary sitting. According to the Prime Minister, the government is also engaging international and local stakeholders to mobilize resources to ensure the continuity of health programs, especially HIV/AIDS interventions. To address this crisis, an additional 480 billion shillings is required to bridge the funding gap and sustain essential services. She said this in response to concerns by workers' representative Abdallah Biakatonda, who asked about the government's plans to mitigate the impact of US funding freeze and ensure uninterrupted HIV treatment. Biakatonda observed that the funding freeze has put the jobs of 12,500 community health workers in Uganda at risk. The Uganda Law Society has condemned the escalating acts of violence witnessed during the Kawempe North parliamentary by-election campaigns. Addressing journalists at the Uganda Law Society Secretariat in Kampala, the Uganda Law Society Vice President Anthony Asimwe said that the actions of security personnel, who include the Uganda Police Force, the Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and plainclothes operatives brutalizing supporters of the NUP with beatings, live bullets, and tear gas should be condemned. Asimwe said such acts of intimidation and lawlessness not only threaten the integrity of the electoral process, but also erode public trust in the rule of law and democratic governance. Asimwe notes that these violations, which he described as grave, are occurring during a by-election which raises serious concerns about what will happen during the upcoming 2026 general election. The Uganda Law Society has called upon the Uganda Police Force and other security agencies to desist from the use of excessive force and ensure law and order are maintained in a manner that respects human rights and the rule of law. Angry residents have set ablaze a section of Jozan Nursery and Primary School in protest against the failure to produce murder suspects in court. The suspects were arrested in connection to the death of a pupil, Joan Faith Apio. The suspects are Susan Vivian Ariokot Okedi, aged 38, and her husband, Joseph Okedi, who are directors of Jozan Nursery and Primary School, as well as James Edoket, the head teacher, and 5 others. Yesterday, Grade 1 Magistrate Chibirige Apollo Kasuja adjourned the case to the 20th of March after the suspects appeared via Zoom. The magistrate informed the packed court that the suspects could not be produced physically because of the sensitivity of the case. Immediately after the adjournment, several people took to the streets and others ran to Jozan School and torched the head teacher's office, the school canteen, the store and dormitories, expressing dissatisfaction with the handling of the case. Angel Evelyn Akol, the mother of Joan Faith Apio, says she wants to see the suspects stand trial over her child's murder. Apio was allegedly killed in a brutal child sacrifice ritual at the school.
So what we need is justice for Apio. I took the child to school alive, I paid the fees, I did all what they wanted. So those people should be presented. I did not present it to school on Zoom. I presented it live and physically to them. I gave the child to the director himself. And he told me we will take care of her and she's in safe hands. Why are they not bringing him to see me as I gave him the child? I'm too disappointed.
MTN Uganda has reported a 30.1% increase in profit after tax to 641.5 billion for the year ending 2024, up from 493 billion in 2023. The Chief Executive Officer, MTN Uganda, Sylvia Malinge, attributed the good performance to the company's strategic investment in fintech, digital innovation, and network expansion. She says the company also recorded a 19.5% increase in service revenue to 3.1 trillion shillings, fueled by a 30.5% rise in data revenue and a 22.8% growth in fintech earnings. Malinge notes that they maintain their market share leadership with 22 million subscribers. She notes that these numbers reflect the company's expanding role in enabling businesses, supporting financial inclusion, and driving economic growth.
Over the period, we've been able to grow our market leadership. Right now, we stand at a 22 million strong base of customers. I think it has also been very good to see that we are also able to reduce our churn. Of significance is the data subscriber growth and the data growth rates that we have reported over the period, which is a positive reflection of a good customer network experience our customers have had, as well as strong value proposition that resonates with them and that has encouraged them to continue to leverage our network.
For more stories and the latest updates, log on to signufm.com.